Hi, it's Jakub again, and this time it's a geometry problem set, and I will be showing you how to solve the first three examples from this set. New and exciting topic, geometry. We haven't done that yet this year, so let's see how it goes. So the first problem, we have some triangle, we have some squares, we have to just calculate what the area of this triangle is. And the first thing to do is probably to remind yourself what is the formula for area of a triangle, right? And so I will just use the space here. If you have a triangle and its base is A and its altitude is H, then its area is just a half times A times H, right? And an important thing that will come up a lot in this problem set, it's not really specific to this example, is that the altitude is just the perpendicular distance from the top to the base, right? So if I have a triangle that looks a bit more funny, like this, then its altitude comes from this point and it's just the perpendicular distance, right? So any series of triangles that all have the same base, right? If I have the same base and some point over here, all those triangles will have the same exact area because we have three same segments and the altitude is the same in each case. But okay, how can we use that in this particular example, right? We could try to find an altitude and the base from, we know that one square has area 1, right? So that means its side is probably also 1 because it's a square. So we could try calculate the length of this segment and, for example, drawing the altitude here. But that would mean that we have to calculate two different lengths segments in this grid, and we would probably succeed if we try to do it if you know the Pythagoras theorem. But we don't need to do it, because what we can do is basically draw a rectangle around it, right? Because we are already on the grid, we draw some rectangle around it, and the idea is to subtract other parts of this rectangle, right? So what I mean is exactly this. We have a rectangle, we have three additional triangles that we drew around this triangle, and then area of a rectangle is really easy to calculate because it's just 4 squares in this direction, right, and 5 squares in this direction. Also, you can just count the squares and you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on. You have 20 squares, so area of the rectangle is exactly 20. So it's not really that difficult to calculate either way. And then what you do is you just subtract those three triangles from the rectangle, and the rest, the thing that's the golden nugget that is left, is our triangle ABC, whose area we were trying to calculate. And why is this easier? Well, because for a right triangle, we can always say that one of its sides, for example, this side is a base and this side is altitude, because there's a right angle here and also there's a right angle here, it's really easy to calculate the area because you don't need to draw, like I was showing you earlier, you don't need to draw any additional segments that are altitudes. The altitude is already given in terms of the grid, right? So for the first triangle, I'm looking at this triangle here, right? This triangle here has area 8. Then I'm looking at the one at the bottom. This has area 2.5. Again, it's 5 here and 1 here. 1 times 5 times a half. You always have to include a half. Why is there half there? Well, because if we had a 5, you can see that we have 5 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we are drawing the line through it, and you can see that the other triangle that we are sort of cutting off also has the same area. So two identical triangles in total have area 2.5. In total have area 5, so each of them has area 2.5, right? And the last triangle, this one here, has area 1.5, right? Because it's 3 times 1 times a half, because it's a triangle. Knowing that, we can just calculate the area of the central triangle again. This was 8, this was 2.5, and this was 1.5, and the whole thing was 20. So we just subtract, and we can see that the area of this triangle in the middle, ABC, is 12. This is basically what was left, right? Just make this point clearer. All right. I think that I hope this was informative and easy enough to understand. And see you in the next example.